Hey people, this is number 3. Don't miss number 2. I started reading this in here. Number 1 was just the Greek, but you don't want to miss number 2. I read the first 2 lines and there's a bunch of other information in there. But I'm reading here in the Tower of Babel, and it starts as talking about, all this art in the ceilings of the Egyptian tombs. It always has to do with astrology. It's their representation of the gods sailing these boats across the sky. And so where they're saying that all the earth had one language and speech, this first line says otherwise. It says how they culture the arts, how they paint the arts in the tombs, of space, S-P-S-E, of space, pata, or the path. The path of what varies, V-A-R-V-R-I-S, varies. And it's changing is what it's saying. It's changing from my dick, backwards, from the way I dictate it, from the way I said it. It's changing. And it's talking about the Y, W-Y-E, Y in why been so, in the time. So the sun in most from foods who mix, it's mixing up the foods, the feeds from the east, who they're mixing up, and the astrology's not working anymore. And the info, the info that's passed down through the Odel in the arts, the shiner, and I believe shiner is the moon, or a certain stage of the moon. The shiner who Sieve 2 uses, it's mixing up, it's not working out right. So these next 2 lines, 3 and 4, both start with this same word, and it's not the same as usually when it says and they said. It's got these 2 little lines up here and it ends with a U or Vav, same as here. And what it says is who yammer to, the Vav, who yammer to, who yammer, who yammer. Who says to, who says, who says. And so it's hearsay is what it is. The old astrology's messing up, because the times are changing and the planets and the stars aren't in the same place at the same time of the year anymore. And so they had to create these Shem-Ham farashes in order to get the astrology right, and so where they used to would look at one now, it would say, no, you got to go over here to see who says, and then to who says, and you're having to why, you're having to backtrack because now you have a different planet ruling this area. The times are changing. And this is called the Shem-Ham Farash. And you see where this comes up. It comes right after the page of Shem-Ham Farash. It's in here in Genesis 10. It starts with, and these are the generations of the sons of Noah, Shem, Ham, and Japheth. But what this actually reads, you got these 2 little marks up here. You tell you to come back and read it again. It's wall here. It's W-A-L-L. The dot and the L says there's 2 L's. W-A-L-L. And then E-A-L-L-E. Allah. The wall, God. And then the E again with this last mark. E-T. The wall, Allah, it. And 2 T's. It tooled, T-U-L-D, it tooled. And then backwards, L of W-T, of what to date, D-T, of what the wall, Allah, it tooled, of what to date. And then Bing, B-N-I, Bing, to mark the time. And then backwards, H-N, on. H, and the line underneath gives the H-A. It's Chet, C-H. C-H-A S-E, chase. The time on chase. And then this is your S-H. And the line underneath here tells you come back and read the other end. So it's M this way. This is reading backwards, so this is an M. And that's where your word Shem is, the name, and then H is the has. And then who put. The name has who put. The wall, Allah, it tooled of what to date, Bing, to mark the time on chase, Shem, the name has who put. And so you see that, the word they usually say is name is S-M. It means consume from. But this word for the name here is from wall, and then from, divide, from, if you break it down in letter meanings. And it means to get the word off the wall. Neither one of these words actually means name, but they'll say Shem means name. So this word here, who yammer to, who yammer, they say it means any said, even when it's just single, any combination of that, yammer. This yammer is actually a Sanskrit word for to cry. And backwards, this is the Sanskrit word for the tortoise shell. And forward, it's the Chinese word for the tortoise shell. It means the outer ring of the tortoise shell. And this was ancient knowledge. The whole world was using this for a calendar. It was their lunar calendar with 13 months in the middle and 28 days per month. And so, being that this is Sanskrit, I used the same translation on this word. And so it reads backwards. It's S-I-A, or it's S-E-I-A. And the line says read it back the other way again, so it's I-S-E, and then A, and then L-A. If you put that in a translator, this S-E-Y-A-I-S, they'll say it means choice. And this Hala, the E-A-L-A, F-E-A-S-S-E-I-A-I-S, and then the E follows that, E-A-L-A, backwards. They'll say it means to term. But if you put a space between that S-E, say Jesus term, and the S-E actually goes with the word that came before. And so it just makes this last yammer plural. And it's who yammer to, who yammers Jesus term. And so I was reading in the Songs of Solomon, I believe it was the last one on there, where he's talking about he was in a rush to go, and he was hollering at somebody in front of him, and he said, Jesus, get out the way. And I was telling you it meant to put a fire under it, to speed it up. Well, I found this really cool Sanskrit dictionary. And it's huge, but I pulled a bunch of terms off of it. But Yah usually has something to do with the moon or to go. The moon is the rabbit because it's the fastest of the planets. It's moving faster than all of them. It runs circles around the sun. But a Yahu, is going or moving swift. And this Yuda here, this is the Y that's pronounced as a J. This is Judah. Judah is an ancient Sanskrit word for making war. You see the Yudahu, the Judahu, the battleground, battlefield, Judah, the battle, to fight the war. And the Yah that they say is hand, or the Yah that they say means no. It always has something to do with the marine, Lord of marine animals, the Odyssey, the travel, the Odyssey. But the yadas always has something to do with water, semen, large aquatic animal. But, just ya means going or moving. And the yamaruka is a drum or a gong of which the hours are struck. The bing, the word of the sons, the yammer bing. And on the first day that da is a serpent, also a dog's tail, a dog, or a large drum. And Jess means to move. Jisa, see above, to move. Move it out the way. On the first page when it says the Spirit of God was hovering above, Yah above, to move above it, is having sexual intercourse. And Yahoo is one of the 10 horses of the moon. And Yat is a heavenly body, a planet is where it's situated. In motion or progress, gait, course, drive, a place where a person has gone. This is all under yada here. Driving or guiding or driving an elephant with a goad. And so I believe the elephant goad was the representation of Aries in the Vedic astrology. So who yammers to choose his term to the hero. The diamond here tells you move this R on this side. And so hero is a term that they usually say is evil all through the Bible. E-R-O is evil. But hero is the ancient term. It means something that the gods did, the planets did, is hero. Anything they did, whether it was good or evil, it was always heroic. To choose his term. Who says to choose his term to the hero, and then this way you move the E over here, so it's R-E-O-E-U. And so it's R-E to re-Odel, to repass it down, to re-air to. Who says to choose his turn to the hero, to the planet, re-Odel, to re-gift, to air it to. The astrology is changing, they're having to move it around to other planets. And then the heaven, H-A-V-A-H-N, the heaven, to have in lab. And lab is to shoot the stars, to lab in ball, the ball in, to lab in the ball in, E-N-E. And if you look it up, most every language, it'll be either one or and. Danish, lonely, alone, one, or a definite of in, which means and, one. Low German, inflected form of in, meaning and. An island, by itself out there, one. Middle English, one. Once. Norwegian, one. But this is the better definition, one after another. One after the other. It's a chain effect, and they're having to move one to another. And yammer who yammer to, one to another. Come let us make. They're moving them down the line. Everything's got to be moved down. And to having to even lab in the ball in the one after another of Venus, V-N-I-S. This is the same word. A lot of times they say sons. They say it's two sons. L is two, or of Venus. When serp, when sucks the juice out. When serp, the lesser few. P and then the U down here, P-U-E. When SERP the lesser few, what tie, and then come back and read this again, they less, L-E-S. What tie they less, 11, the lavum, L-A-V, and N is an M when it's final. And then we, and then wear, W-R. We wear much the camera, and then the camera. So this is a camera. It's this dome you see in all the state buildings and churches. You know, you look in them, and they still have all the same artwork the same way they did in Egypt. And you see that word all through this book of Ezekiel when he's describing what he sees up there in the face of an eagle and had four and their wings stretched upward. And you'll see it for one of these words of appearance. You see how it's got the M-R-A here, but a lot of them be spelled camera, like this, like the appearance, the camera. What tie they less, 11, the lavin. The lavin is the wash. The lavin we wear, much the camera yells of comer. So the lavin is a wash, is a color, is the outside, not a stone. You know, the color that we wear is the planets are talking. The color we wear, the heavens are talking. We wear much the camera, you know, the appearance. The yells is the word, was the yell. The yells of comer. Comer is the one behind you. You're wearing the color of the comer, the one that was behind you. They're all switching coats. So one more time all together. Who yammer to who yammer, who yammer. Who says to who says to who said. Chooses term where hero re-odel, to repass it down to. To re-odel to having, lavin, the ball in one. Lovin' is, you know, lovin' is where Venus comes from. Venus is the planet of love, of Venus, you know, lovin' is. L-V-N-I-S, the lovin' is. When SERP, the lesser few, what tie they less, 11, the lesser 11, the lavum, the lesser 11 colors. And so it sounds like it's Saturn talking, the black, the dark ones talking, and the rest of them are all lesser colors. What tie they less 11, the lavin, the lesser colors. We wear much the camera yells of comer.
Don't forget, hooty hoo, I won't forget.
Alright, I'm gonna cut this off here. Good day.